Today we are going to be reviewing combining like terms. So on your note sheet, in the topic, write combining like terms, as well as today's date. The page number for your notes will be page 2, Unit A. Page 2, Unit A. There are a couple of terms that we're going to go over before we get started with combining like terms. Since this is a review skill, we will go over a couple together and then you will try a few on your own. Make sure that you take accurate and complete notes. An algebraic expression is defined as one or more algebraic terms in a phrase. Remember that expressions do not have an equal sign. So algebraic expressions are different from equations when we're solving and we have an equal sign in them, but with expressions you won't see equal signs. There are parts of an expression that are also important to know. If we have the expression 3m plus 6, the 3 is what we call a coefficient, because a coefficient is defined as a number that is multiplied by a variable. In this expression, our variable is m, which is defined as a letter that is used to represent numbers in an algebraic expression. And lastly, we have our constant, which in this case is 6. A constant is defined as a term in an algebraic expression that does not contain variables. If you're not finished copying these down, pause the video and push play when you're finished. There are some other components to parts of an expression that are important to know. If we have the expression 8g plus 2h minus 3, when we say that we're going to combine like terms, we have to know what our terms are. And so in this case, we have our 8g is considered a term. Our positive 2h is a term. And our minus 3, we can also consider that as a negative 3, is a term. So when we're combining like terms, we're looking to see if any of these are alike, and then if we can combine them. So we'll notice that terms are separated by addition and subtraction. Like terms are defined as terms that contain the same form of a variable. So some examples we can see here, if we have 2x plus 3x, we can combine those because our like terms are x. So that would give us 5x. If we have negative 8m minus 2m, these are also like terms and can be combined to negative 10m. A non-example is if we have 2x plus 3y. These are not like terms, so we cannot combine them, so it does not equal 5xy. Since these are not like terms, this would be as simplified as your answer could get, 2x plus 3y. You could not simplify that expression any further. So here are some steps that you need to follow when simplifying expressions and combining like terms. Step 1 is to simplify the expression so there is only one sign between each term. So that means that we don't have any plus negatives or minus negative. So making sure that there is just one sign between each term. We want to rewrite the expression with like terms together, and then we want to combine our like terms. So let's try a couple of examples together, and then I'll have you try some on your own. So our first example, if it says 7y plus 8 minus 3y plus 2. So our like terms, we can see we have some y's here, and we have y's here. So these are our like terms that we can combine. So we have 7y minus 3y, and then the 8 and the positive 2 are our constants, and you can also combine constants together. So then we would have a positive 8 plus 2. You also need to make sure that you keep the sign that's in front of the term. So this 8, there was a plus sign in front of it, so making sure that that comes down when you write it. And here we had this minus 3y, so making sure that that sign in front of that 3y comes down here. So when we simplify this expression, we have 7y minus 3y would be 4y, and a positive 8 plus 2 would give us 10. 4y and positive 10 are not like terms. One other thing to keep in mind is when you're writing things simplified, that they need to be in alphabetical order. And also, after they're in alphabetical order, we want our constants on the right. So in the problem we just simplified, we only had the one variable, but our constants are already on the right. Let's do one more. So if we have u plus negative 10u plus negative 4 minus negative 1. So the first step in the directions here is to simplify the expression so there is one sign between each term. And so this may be some review of working with integers and simplifying that way. So if you have u plus a negative 10u, that's the same thing as u minus 10u. So plus a negative is the same as just subtracting or minus. Same thing here. So if you have plus a negative 4, that's the same thing as just minus 4. Whenever you have minus a negative, we say that as being the opposite of a negative. And so the opposite of a negative 1 would be a positive 1. So when you see that minus negative, that becomes a positive. So u minus 10u would give you negative 9u. And a negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. So negative 9u minus 3. So that is as simplified as either of those expressions can be. So I want you to take a moment and work out the rest of the problems on your note sheet. So click pause on the video, and then when you're finished working out those examples, push play and reveal the answers. Okay, here are the answers to the problems that you just worked out on the rest of your notes worksheet. So now you need to double check to make sure that you have the correct steps in working out and simplifying these expressions, as well as the correct simplified expression in alphabetical order with your constant on the right. If you have made any errors, this is the time to make those corrections in your notes now. So pause the video until you've checked all of your work.